Hi girls, welcome back to another wonderful week of Farby and 10. I want to share with you some special and personal news that this past week I gave birth to Baruch Hashem, a healthy child. And everything that I think I've learned in school regarding Mashiach, I was actually able to put into reality. The analogy given about Mashiach is that it's Chavle Mashiach, the birth pains of Galus. And it's so easy to get carried away with the here and now and experiencing some painful moments. But I think that what got me through it is to realize that when you see a bigger picture and when you're able to appreciate that it's for a bigger cause, you're able to handle the situation so much more. And then there is the final stages of the delivery process where clearly it's the most painful. And it's so hard to be able to just think of the now and to allow that time to pass. But if you just think to yourself that every moment that passes, or at least that's what helped me, that every moment that passes, every painful moment that was passing was really one step closer to life and light and brightness and brachas. And I think the same thing when it comes to Galus. The Rebbe tells us that every single day that passes, we're one step closer to the coming of Mashiach. And every day that passes is the Chavle Mashiach, that we're experiencing this delivery process. But soon it's going to be over, and soon we are going to be able to witness the coming of Mashiach. So congratulations and welcome to 2021. Actually, the Times Magazine has put on their title, Goodbye 2020, the worst year ever. And actually, I quote, where inside the Times, they write that even though it has not been the worst year ever in history, and there's been worse times throughout our history globally and in America, but it's been the worst year that we've ever remembered. And so my question to you is, was 2020 really the worst year? When the Rebbe told us that Mashiach is coming, open your eyes, see the world ready for Mashiach. I don't think the Rebbe was only referring to open your eyes and see some spiritual changes going on. The Rebbe says, open your eyes and notice that the world is really coming to a change. So I wanted to do some research and get some hardcore data and to really see, is the world coming to this messianic era? Is this world really coming to a change where the Rebbe told us, open up your eyes and notice it, and notice the miracles that are taking place? So I want to start with food for a moment. Food has never been more in abundance now than ever in the past. Starting with kosher food. I know that I live in North Carolina and there's no kosher fresh bakery or restaurants, and it's easy to fetch and complain about that. But in all seriousness, 80% of the food in the grocery stores are kosher today. That's amazing. And take it further from there. The Orthodox Union, only one large organization of kosher, says that they have 800,000 different products in the different companies that they have made kosher. That's a huge number. Think about my closet. I have more food in my closet today than the whole shtetl that my grandmother lived in had as food to give out for the whole community. I have more food in my closet today. There is so much food today that people are dying from overeating than undereating. I remember looking in my grandmother's house. I was once looking through family photos and I see a picture of a sweet young boy, and I asked my grandmother, who is that? And she sadly says, that's my brother Aaron, who passed away from hunger. He simply died from lack of food. Today, we're dying from overeating. We're dying from sugar. We're dying from more food in our houses and obesity than the lack of food that there used to be. Richness. Today, the poorest person that's in poverty has more than what the affluent, wealthy person in times ago used to have. I took my family to a palace close by in Asheville, North Carolina. It's this beautiful palace, that the wealthiest man lived there, and today you're able to go for a tour. Beautiful, but missing heating, missing normal ovens. Today, the most simplest home, the cheapest home, was better off than these beautiful palaces of times ago. You are richer today than in any time period. Think about our education. Think about 100 years ago. Where were you able to be 100 years ago? Were you able to study? There wasn't even any girls' schools 104 years ago. The library, the largest library in the world is in the Congress. It has the most books in the world. But you know what? It's the second to the largest library, because the first largest library is in your hands, on your filtered phone, on the tip of your fingers. You have access to more Jewish books today than ever. That's crazy. You have the largest library in your home. So think about our grandparents. Think about what they had to go through only 70 years ago. Think about the Holocaust, Russia, the prison camps, the starvation. 70 years later, look where we are today. In September of 2000, the Chabad house in Russia had this huge ceremony, this groundbreaking ceremony, opening up 8 floors of a Chabad house in Russia. And as the people were there, ready to celebrate, all of a sudden tanks were heard and a black car starts to drive through. And everyone gave a shudder, thinking, have we really been successful? Maybe we're going back in times. And they got scared, thinking of their communist days in Russia, where Yiddishkeit was banned. You were killed for doing anything Jewish. And out of this black car, out of the black limousine, comes out the president, Putin. And he gets on stage and he turns to the crowd and he says, I want to apologize. I want to apologize for everything we've done, everything that Russia has done to the Jewish people, for their harassment, for their killing, for their imprisonment. I want to apologize. And then he turned to the children and he says, I promise you, you will once again be able to learn Hebrew in this country. Where have we gone? Look how far we've gone. It's amazing. It's unbelievable. Stop for a moment and reflect. What's going on? I know this has been a difficult year with COVID, and I don't want to diminish it for one bit. But think about all those plagues that there used to be. The Spanish flu, 40 million people died. COVID, not even 4% of that. Think about all the plagues that have wiped out cities and communities. 1 year later from COVID, there's a vaccine coming out and will save hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people's lives. Look where we have come in the year 2021. Open your eyes, the Rebbe says, and realize that the world is changing. This unbelievable change that's going on in the world. So I want to challenge all of us. When the Rambam 900 years ago said that there's going to come a time that there will be peace, no famine, no war, no one would have understood what the Rambam's saying. But the Rambam was talking about this time period. The Rambam is talking about today. Peace in Israel. There's never been more peace in the past 2-3 years in Israel than in Shlomo HaMelech's times. Look at all the nations of the world. Look at the Arab countries that want to make peace with Israel. My nephew stood in front of this large, huge menorah in Dubai, lighting the menorah with so many of these Arab sheiks. Where have we come? This is an amazing time period. So I want to challenge every single one of us. As we have entered into 2021, was 2020 really the worst year? Or are we so much closer to the coming of Mashiach? Let's start making Mashiach a reality. Let's start making Mashiach something that's not just for the future, but something that we can actually start to live Mashiach now. It says that when Mashiach comes, we'll live in peace and harmony. Start living in peace with your friends. Start finding people who you never said hi to in school and haven't made it into your social circles. Don't talk about your friends behind their back. When you go home, start living with more peace in your house, more peace with your parents, More peace with your siblings. Take them out, treat them out, learn with them, play with them. Start living a more peaceful life. It says that when Mashiach comes, we'll be studying Torah and it will be enjoyable. Start making your Torah learning more enjoyable. Start making it that Torah should be relevant to your life. Something that will be when Mashiach comes. Start to live that now. So l'chaim to every single one of us. We've entered in 2021. This is a huge year. This is a year that we will witness the coming of Mashiach. Open your eyes and realize that the world is miles and miles ahead, and it's going to be a great year. Live Mashiach, and we will, Emirta Hashem, be able to have Mashiach. We will be able to be on the eagle's wings in Yerushalayim together with the Rebbe leading us at our head. L'chaim, looking forward.